Hello friends, welcome to Tassel Tuesday. Today is a special Tassel Tuesday because my friend Norma the Misfit Florida crafter, and I are doing a Tassel Tuesday collaboration, and we are going to be making Gnome Tastic tassels today. If you'd like to join in, use two hashtags. Use hashtag Tassel Tuesday and use hashtag Gnome Tassel. The theme today is Ghost Tassel, so that's why I have these supplies on my desk. Probably will not use the pure gray, but I will definitely use this torn fabric, and I will definitely use this white and gray, and it's kind of a creamy gray, and this fabric is kind of creamy too. I didn't want to go pure white because when I think about, ghosts and making a ghost tassel, it's kind of like, ghosts are kind of floating around, and they're probably floating around in empty houses that are probably dusty, hence the gray that they might pick up. So I didn't want to go with pure white. I wanted to have a little bit of color mixed in there. I grabbed some yarn as well. There are 3 different shades of white. This one would be the creamiest. It looks closer to this sheet. And this one looks pretty white, but I think I might do a combination of all of them so it looks kind of natural. So that's what we have as far as our supplies go. So let's get started. Friends, make sure you go check out our other collaborators in this open collaboration. They will be listed in my description box. Now, as we're getting started, I wanted to say that you might have, if you saw last week's video, you would notice that I had wrapped my yarn around an object so that everything was even and, I could just tie it and cut it and all that. But today I'm working with pieces of torn, I think, sheet, and so I can't do the wrapping because they're not long enough really to do that. So that's perfectly fine. I just wanted to explain that I'm doing the technique different this week and doing it how I actually usually do it. Now these pieces are longer than what I will need, but they're longer than what I need, but we will trim it at the end. So I've got these base pieces laid down. Now I'm going to go ahead and start adding these pieces. And I think let's do, we'll just do 25 of them. So I'm going to go ahead and measure 25 of these out. Oops. And then we'll add them into our other fibers. All right, friends, so as you can see, we've got the torn cotton. We have the gray thread, and then we've got some white yarn. I should say yarn, sorry. And then we have some white yarn. So I was thinking creatively, and I wondered to myself, if I stacked these in a certain way, could the sheet look like the ghosty part, and then could this be short enough to look like the beard part? So I don't know, my friends, I don't know, but my brain is thinking about that as I start to formulate how I want to put this together. I think I want to go with messy, like I'm not going to be real careful about it because after all it is a ghost, and so there's that tattered feeling that a ghost might have. So if I'm just thinking about if I could stack this, if that would be possible to do that, and of course it would. I'm just thinking in my brain, what's the best way, I guess is what I'm trying to think of. If I put these on top of here, and then I do it like that, then it's like the sheet part is underneath. It's kind of like, how could I get all of the beard part to the front? Well, if I did it like this, and then tied everything, then I would have all of this like that, right? Let's try that, you guys. And then I can take off some of the length of it, and then it might really look like you know, a ghosty Gnome tassel. So we're gonna try it. I can always cut the fabric that goes in between and change it up if it just doesn't look right. You know, that's not a problem. So we'll use some of this. And we're gonna double it up. Matter of fact, I might quadruple it just to make it thicker. Like that. That's nice and thick and sturdy. And we're gonna slide that under. Always, nothing new here. This is what we always do every time. And we're gonna go ahead and double knot it. You know, I wonder if I did that long enough because I wasn't even thinking about the hat. No, I did it long enough. It's fine because this is the hangy part. Yep, that's the hangy part. So it is perfectly fine. So I'm gonna twist these. I don't know if that's gonna matter, but I'm gonna twist them a little bit so that when I tie them together, I'm hoping the fibers kind of stay together so that if somebody goes to hang it, they can separate the fibers pretty easily. So let's see if that theory worked. Yep, I think that worked pretty well. See how they're separated? So I think that's pretty good. I usually wait to do that part, but I just figured I'd go ahead and get it done. All right, so there's that. Now, we're pulling this together and we want the beard part to kind of lay on top of the sheet part. So, we got that. We'll trim it at the end, I'm thinking. We'll just focus on this part right now. Just getting everything kind of the way we want it. So we're gonna secure these by putting, tying a little something here, but we're gonna come back and do the hat part. But we're gonna, you know, tie it off so that it's nice and secure. And we'll just use a little piece of white yarn, if I can find the end of it. Well, here, I got the end on this one. Since this part's gonna be covered with the little gnome hat, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just want the hangy part to be centered. So in order to do that, it's tied here, but I'm leaving it a little loose so I can pull on these fibers because we want to get it centered nicely. Okay. I'm doing a double knot. Okay. Now, I'm going to continue to pull these a little bit. There we go. Now when it hangs, see how that's now in the center? It'll hang nicely. It won't hang crooked. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now that part's done. Now we're going to go ahead and do the little hat. So what I did was I cut some of this, but I made these pieces thicker than the pieces that I used here. And we're just gonna start wrapping. Gonna put a little dab of glue right here in the center, kind of where I tied it, and that's where we will start the wrapping off. I'm gonna just let that, I'm gonna hold it tight like that. I'm gonna let it dry for just a few seconds. Now, we know that we want the bottom to be wider, like a brim, than the top, but I wanna make sure I do the top nice and tight. So I'm just going to handle the top first. Just kind of playing with the positioning here and seeing what's easier for me. All right. I think I have the top wrapped around enough times. Well, maybe not. Let me go around again just to make sure. Kind of want it to come to a point as much as possible. Of course, this is sticking out, but I think that's a pretty good point there. So now we're just going to keep twisting this around and wrapping it, and you can see how tight I'm doing it. And then I'm not going to get looser as I go down, but what I will end up doing is kind of wrapping the same spot over and over and over in order to build it up. Oops, I don't want to twist my fibers too much. There we go. I think they're fine. All right, so I think this is probably a pretty good length for a gnome hat. And I see some gray kind of peeking through, so I'm going to go back up there real quick and handle that. The top I think is perfectly fine. But like I said, as we go down, we want this part to start to get bigger. So starting the second sheet now, or piece I should say. So you might notice that now I kind of made my piece thinner. When I started it was a little bit thicker. See how loose that is? I need to go back up and fix that. Anyway, I made it thinner because I really want to start to get into the rim of it now, the rim of the hat. So I figured if I kind of pulled it together and made it thinner, I would be able to do that. And also it might help with these little pieces that are sticking out, you know, where we're getting smaller and tighter. There we go, maybe if I twist that, there we go. Okay, now I'm gonna go back down and really start to build up the rim part. If everything is looking good, and I think it is, you can kind of manipulate it into place. All right, now let's make our rim. And then we'll take a scrap of something and we will add, you know, like maybe a piece of satin ribbon or something around the edge to really make the rim of it pop. All right, I think that's looking pretty good. So now I'm gonna use my hot glue gun and I'm gonna seal this off. So far, I feel pretty happy with this tassel. Hopefully I've built it up enough so that it looks like it, I think I have. Yeah, I think it does look like a gnome hat, so I think we're in pretty good shape. And I like that this part, the beard part, has stayed in the front. I'm really happy about that. All right, so let me go get some ribbon and I'll be right back and we'll work on the hat and the beard. Friends, as I went in there to go get some lace for around here, not lace, but ribbon, I was distracted because I was thinking that I wanted to get the word boo on him. And I found this clock, which I think would be cool to add the clock to the hat. And then I found this little frame and I'm gonna put the word boo inside the frame, I think. All right, friends, so let's start by adding some color to the frame. We're gonna start with the lightest color because we can always go back and make something darker. But once we go dark, we can't go lighter unless we break out our paints. So we're gonna do it like this. And then I can decide if I want it darker or not. Okay, that looks pretty cute. And let's do the same thing on this clock. I think I'd like to make the whole thing darker. And then I can go in with an even darker pen so that we can see the numbers on the clock. I just want to make this a little richer than it started out being. I want to go around the edge of the clock with this, and this is going to be quite a bit darker, so I'm going to go around on the outer edge and see if it seeps in. Yep, it is seeping in, so I want to be careful about that. I have a bunch of these, so if I mess it up, I can just start over. All right, that's nice. Now, I'll go get some non-permanent markers for the numbers. So this is like a micro fine point, so I'm gonna use this. And again, I'm still gonna be very careful, but I definitely wanna add some color here. Yeah, this doesn't seem to be bleeding as much. All right, so I got these kind of colored the way that I like, and now I want to go ahead and get a piece of paper, put the words boo inside, and then we're gonna cut it out, you know, glue it, cut it out, all that stuff. But the first thing I'm gonna start with is the word boo. So let's do that. And I'm just holding it loosely because that way if I mess up, I can just try again. I can move it up the paper and try again. And so I'm trying to think, do I want like a script writing or how do I want to do it? Let me, that again, I have plenty of paper to play with here, so I can redo it if I don't like what I did. And then I could put a set of eyes in there if I want to. Let's see. What do you think? That's kind of cute. So we can cut that out and glue it all together. All right, while our little boo sign is drying, I've got it clamped so that it'll dry and everything will stick together nicely. I say let's go ahead and let's trim up the beard part of this. Actually, you know what? Let's trim the bottom first. Or maybe we leave the bottom really tattered and uneven. Maybe we do that. Just kind of leave it the way it is. Let's take a look at it. Let's trim it just the tiniest bit. We'll leave some pieces long and some pieces short. I think that'll work. Yeah, I like that. And now let's think about this beard. So, I don't know exactly what to do here, but let's comb it out real quick. All right, I'm thinking we like the, I kind of like how it's coming to a point, so let's continue to mirror that, right? Because that's kind of how beards are. So if I start here, we'll come up a little bit because we want it to be just a little shorter than the fabric. Oh, there's some fabric in there that I see. I don't want to cut the fabric at all. Just the little beardy part. All right, let me make sure I'm on camera. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's pull that straight one more time. All right, now, there we go. So I'm thinking if I kind of go into the middle, and then I just cut this way, and then I just cut that way, it should leave the center piece short. I mean long. Might have to go at it at a different angle just because it's a little awkward. Let's take a look and see how it is. Not bad, not bad. Yeah, I think I like it. It's got some short layers and some long layers. So let's fluff this guy out as we do. And let's lay it down. Yeah, I think I'm gonna like it. It's really different and I think I like it. So let's see, our little boo sign is ready. I'm thinking, I had this piece of scrap trim and it is orange and black. Oh, but it doesn't reach all the way around. It's now, it might be okay that it doesn't reach because actually I could do the boo sign right there. And then let's see how we want to do this. We could do the clock up here at the top as an embellishment, and then the little boo sign, and then the nose. What do you think? What do you think, guys? I think that's a pretty good place to start with it, actually. Let's go ahead and get this glued on. We're going to start in the back, and I'm going to use hot glue. Been seeing my hot glue gun a lot lately. Let me get these markers out of the way. Okay. Sorry if you're seeing a shadow. All right, we almost have this on. It's not perfectly even, but that's okay. This is a ghost after all. He's, a bit in shambles because he's a ghost. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and, hopefully you can see, yeah. We're gonna go ahead and add our little boo sign. I think it's okay to put it there. Once it's glued on, that's the end of the story. Do I go straight? Do I do it turned? No, I have to do it turned. I can't put anything on straight hardly ever. So we'll put a decent amount of glue on that there. And here we go. And now I'm just going to be patient and hold this in place while that dries. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put our clock on. I'll put it over here to the side a little bit. Once it's on, I'll decide if I need to put some little embellishments around it. All right, now friends, I went to the store and I got some little puff balls, Pom Poms, and we're gonna go ahead and add one of those. I have some different sizes. I think I'm gonna wanna go with the medium or the small. So here's the medium, and it's pretty big, but it's doable. And then here's the small. What do we think? Let's try the medium again. The medium's kind of cute. I mean, especially once you stuff it up there a little bit, it's not quite as big, you know. Maybe I'm going with the medium. Let me try this one more time. Whoops, let me try this one more time. Nope, I think I want the medium one. Okay, so what we're gonna do, I'm just gonna press that down just a little bit up in there, and I'm gonna bring my hot glue gun over with my scissors. I'm gonna get some glue up in there, and then I'm gonna shove this thing partly up there, just a little bit, just enough for it to grab. And I'm just gonna hold it in place, and then when I feel like it's been enough time, I'll let it go. All right, so we got the nose on. The last thing, you know, sometimes we associate ghosts with chains, not sure why, but that's just something that we see sometimes in movies. So I thought, let's experiment just a little bit and see, and I want to see if I can get this through some of this. Yep, it's going right in. And then we're gonna see if we can dangle this chain, you know, on this little gnome here. So we've got it hooked up there, which is great. Then I can, let's see, if that's like that, then I was thinking I could go around, the clock, and then I could go around the hat. And then I could just kind of have it maybe dangling down, like in the front, like this maybe, you know? So let me play with that for a second. All right, friends, let me give you a little close-up of our gnome ghost tassel, and then I'll take some pictures of it so that you can see it hanging. But let's start at the top. So here's the top where you can hang it. We added a clock here. And then we have the chain wrapped around several times, as you can see. And we have the words boo in a nice little wood frame. Got his little nose, and then we've got his beard, and you'll get a better look at this once it's hanging. And then we have like his tattered ghostly outfit, whatever that is. And then the chain is actually hanging down the side. So there he is. Let me go get a couple of photos for you. I love the way he turned out. I think it's so cute. Also, I just wanted to let you guys know we will continue our Gnome Tastic tassels next week as well. Join in if you'd like. Next week's theme is going to be a Thanksgiving gnome. Thanks for watching. See you soon.